Hello, and welcome back to the fourth season of Next Generation's First Generation. We are a watch-along podcast for Star Trek The Next Generation, and we are watching the 8th episode of Season 4 of Star Trek The Next Generation, Future Imperfect, which is one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. Who am I, you ask? Why, I am Patrick Delmore, one of your co-hosts, and with me is Sascha Schaudies, your other co-host.
Hello there! So, Future Imperfect, one of your favorite episodes of the series, you say?
Yes, and it gets better as I get older, too.
Oh, my goodness.
I rewatched it this morning, and I was like, oh, man, so many good things in here that I missed. I could probably record 2 commentaries on this. There's so much going on.
Yeah, it's definitely a favorite of mine as well. Anything that has to do with deep dive narrative on a character, I'm usually interested in just what's going on. And, time travel's fun. Perceived time travel.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to give you the countdown. And when we reach the go mark, go ahead and push play on your viewing device. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
And Captain's given his star date. They're looking in that area near the neutral zone. But the big thing coming up here is it is Riker's birthday. Which, Riker, everybody got to throw a party for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his slide trombone, or subtitles say playing Misty poorly. And, Deanna and the Doctor are looking at him admiringly. And Deanna's being a little bit flirty with him.
Maybe admirably is not quite the right word, as in, I'm supporting you because this is your thing.
So Deanna asks him what he wished for. And he gives her a meaningful look. And he's like, music lessons. That's probably not what he wished for, and she knows it. Because this is crucial to him figuring out what's going on later. He and Deanna Troi have a mental connection.
Mm-hmm.
All of this reading is so terrible here. I don't. Something must have gone on with the production of this episode, and you'll see it later on. Like Picard or Patrick Stewart walking on, stepping to his mark, and saying, "Data, we're going to be late for this birthday party," and then them walking up the ramp, and the guy at the station being like, "Hey, you guys need to look at this. I have to make sure and say it when Brent Spiner and Patrick Stewart get to that turbolift door."
Right. Yeah, he kind of
He
kind of had that eye motion too of someone that's just concentrating as hard as possible to get the word out. So, go ahead.
I really wonder, if this went through a bunch of rewrites and reshoots, and they had to get a lot of stuff done fast.
Oh,
because the parts that are good are really good, but the parts that are bad are just yuck. So Riker has to leave his birthday party because they have to send an away team to this planet because there might be a Romulan somewhere on it.
Yeah, a secret base, I think they're worried about.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are just planting more seeds that the Romulans are kind of the, I guess you have to say, the other big power in this Cold War series here that they're playing.
I love that exchange between, to talk about the good, that exchange between Picard and Riker, the happy birthday.
Mm-hmm. Another beautiful matte painting there.
Yep. And this, as it turns out, is a great big giant holodeck.
Mm-hmm.
A little bug-eyed alien. And he is now filtering out who he's going to keep there with him. And by he, I mean this bug-eyed alien. So, what's interesting is that it has to be Riker for the purposes of this show, because Worf's fantasy wouldn't involve being on the Enterprise, and Geordi's fantasy wouldn't involve being on the Enterprise. Riker is in love with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's April Grace as our transporter technician, who I had previously mistakenly said that I thought she was in Unbreakable. The movie that she is in that I've seen multiple times is Magnolia, where she is the woman that interviews Tom Cruise in that movie. I mean, she's in several movies, but Magnolia is the one that I recognize her the most from. So, Riker passes out. He wakes up. Here's Nurse Agawa. Here's Dr. Crusher with slightly different hair. They have different comm badges on.
And mirrors on the ceiling.
Pink champagne on ice. He's just a prisoner there of his own device.
The new icon, the new badge.
Yep.
They put a little gray in his hair. Oh man, when I watched this, I flipped the freak out as a kid. Like, oh my gosh, everything's different. This is great.
Because I didn't, get like the tropes of TV yet. So I was like, this really happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got to jump forward in time, and now sci-fi shows will actually do that.
Yeah, I just started watching
several years in the plot line.
I just started watching what is it called? The Umbrella Academy or something like that?
How is that? I haven't seen it.
I watched the first episode and it's pretty good, and they advertise that there's time travel involved. They have this character that can jump around from, kind of like Doctor Who, from between time and space, but imperfectly, and the big plot is they're trying to prevent the end of the world. But the problem is they're all dysfunctional family members, so while they're saving the world, they're arguing about whatever slight happened 20 years ago.
Well.
So this episode, when did it come out? It came out November 12th, 1990, so you might be gearing up for your Thanksgiving plans, trying to figure out, what the heck do I do for Thanksgiving in 2020? We're right along with you here. We're recording this in August. And everybody is on the full lockdown-ish COVID-y thing. So,
I'm in Kentley Studios, and Sasha is down at Next Gen, First Gen South.
This episode was directed by Les Landau, and Dennis McCarthy did the music, so we like it. And this was written by David Bennett Karn and J. Larry Carroll.
Yeah, we're not going to hear from... what's his name, the other composer anymore.
No, he's out.
So they will use some of his themes. Yeah, he got the Axe budget just because of budget right after Best of Both Worlds, which he then won an Emmy for after being kicked off the show.
Wah, wah, wah. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, boy, I can't hit that note either. I love how she had to duck underneath the monitor.
Yeah.
This is a poorly placed prop. He actually looks better as an old guy here than he really does playing the 30-year in the future Riker now. Because they're both just about the same age when you think about it.
Because this was... Well, no, that's about 14 years past this time.
Okay.
This would be 2006 our time.
Oh, okay.
16 years later.
He was still a little filled out there in 2006. Yep. That's just about when he was wrapping up Roswell. No, he was done with Roswell already in 2006. What was Jonathan Frakes doing in the early 2000s?
I don't know. I know he did a lot of voiceover work on things, but this is right around the time that they did the episode of Family Guy where they reunited the cast of The Next Generation. You
can probably hear me typing.
They're kick-ass. So this is just a big exposition dump scene to explain why he's suddenly in the future and doesn't remember anything. He's lived 16 years of his life, but due to the incident that happened on the planet with the gas, supposedly he's forgotten everything and now needs help remembering that. Now, if he had of course, it would make sense for the ship's doctor to be there. He's got fond memories of her from the birthday party that this alien can build off of. Mm-hmm. But people that know him would not have Dr. Crusher be the one to explain this to him. It would have been...
it would have been Troy.
Yeah.
Well, they're if I remember correctly, they're married in this timeline or in this fantasy. No. Oh, it's Minuet. That's right.
Yeah, that's the big twist.
I was thinking of Worf and Troy
Yeah.
in one of the last season episodes.
Right.
So I'm just kind of taking a peek here at Jonathan Frakes' credits.
Mm-hmm.
So the question was, what is he doing in the early 2000s? He was in a movie called Clock Stoppers where he had an uncredited...
He directed that movie.
Oh, did he? He was
Yeah.
also a janitor.
Yeah.
And then he was also a policeman in Thunderbirds. That's funny. But he was also doing the episode in Enterprise where he kind of went back and played himself. The finale episode. These are the voyages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was in 03 or 04, though, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, creeping up on it. So it's weird that this alien kid sent him into the future like that. Well, it's not, because this alien is pretending to be his son. Because what you could do, if you weren't a kid, is go, okay, it's the present timeline, and you're going to take custody of some kid.
Hey, there's a Klingon lady.
Klingon on the Enterprise.
Racist. Look at him just staring her down like, what the hell?
Yeah, so the computers are all running slower because this kid can't quite keep up with the things Riker is asking for.
Mm-hmm.
So if Beverly wants to do something, it'll do it because she's just part of a simulation. But if Riker wants to do something, he's got to figure out how to make the thing that Riker asks for work.
Well, yeah, the brain scanner's got to read Riker's mind and guess what he's anticipating.
And the kid really wanted to reveal himself right away. Beverly wanted him to go to his quarters and meet the kid. But he's like, no, I want to see the bridge. Now...
Honestly, I think that the second narrative of this fantasy would be a lot more realistic than...
Yeah, that's what he should have gone with.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, just be some kid that Riker discovers who he wants to be sympathetic to. This did happen. Geordi lost his visor and got regular eyes. They weren't cloned eyes; they were mechanical eyes. But.
He's a good-looking guy. It's nice to see his face. He almost looks like a different person.
And I love this because it subtly implies Worf has gotten a demotion.
Yeah, he's looking down. He's not very happy. It's nice to see a Ferengi on the bridge. Yeah.
But I mean, this by 2006, Data's dead. Riker is the captain of the Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Geordi's got his own ship. This Enterprise has been destroyed. Worf's with the Klingons. So here come the friends who were previously enemies. Riker wants shields up. Data explains to him, no, they're our allies now.
I wish they could have kept some of these future imaginings of the bridge, like the databanks on the wall with the readouts.
They kind of had that in First Contact. If you remember, they had tactical stations going down that ramp. Not First Contact, Generations. So because the kid is just kind of thinking about, is just kind of using, how Riker is thinking and feeling at the time, he presents him with, okay, here's Troy, and here's Picard, because these are people you hold in really high esteem, so you'll be really happy to see them, and hopefully your emotions will improve with this.
I just don't understand why he created such a big fantasy that's hard to believe from the get-go.
Look how crummy the makeup got in this scene. Do you think it was a reshoot?
Yeah, I think that was a reshoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they.
It looked good when they first revealed it, but now it looks like they didn't take a whole lot of time to mat it. And see now it doesn't look as crummy anymore.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of neat that Troy is an attaché to Picard now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she was kind of always that closeted advisor.
Yes.
Yeah, he looks really good with a goatee. Kind of makes him a little evil looking.
Yeah.
I could see him with like a more pointy beard, kind of like from Barclay's Three Musketeers scenes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you think that he's wearing a hairpiece there to make his...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... Well, yeah, you know, that gray just keeps moving around on his face. I didn't even notice this until now. So, I guess the big question is, if you wanted to fool somebody that they've gone 14 years into the future, what kind of story would you tell?
It depends on the person. And I mean, this is he knows nothing about Riker other than, some memories that he gleaned. And he just, everything here is dream logic. It's like that movie Vanilla Sky.
Okay.
It's the lucid dream. Like, it seems like it's everything he wants, but as it goes along, it turns out that that's not the case. And that's all, and it's already happening. It was like, Riker wants things to go well with the Romulans. To Riker, that would be making the Romulans turn tail and run, leave the Federation alone. But this kid's like, no. What I assume, making good with the Romulans is we're at peace with them now. That's not actually what Riker wants.
No, Riker does not want peace. Riker's one of those guys, he wants to maintain the status quo unless it's on his terms.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in his behavior. He's always dominating people who are kind of stepping out of line. Look at him and Ro Laren, for example. Mm-hmm. Holy freaking smokes.
But when the Troy, and Marina Sirtis is fantastic in this, but she is the one that's doing and saying everything wrong.
You think so?
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, I've had enough surprises.
You'll notice it in a minute. Because the alien, who we're going to see in a minute, is in the form of Riker's child. He doesn't understand that they have a psychic bond.
So, you think that Troy would have told him before he went in, hey, there's a kid in here.
Yeah.
And he's a member of your family.
Yep. But there's a bigger one coming.
Boy, this is just like me leaving my iPads all over the house like that.
But I didn't know the exact start date.
I'm kind of impressed that a lot of the technology from Next Gen kind of wormed its way into the house.
Oh, yeah.
I'm most impressed with the Google Translate, where you can just kind of talk into it and it'll spit out more or less what language you'd like to communicate in. Oh, boy. How do you like to name your kid after your boss?
Right. And he didn't name his son. We know now that he had a son and that he was not named Jean-Luc.
Mm-hmm.
I love their daughter. Okay. This is the big one, this conversation. Why didn't you warn me? Well, I took my cue from Dr. Crusher on that, not from you. You did?
Why would you? Yeah. If you know me so well, then why would
look at this. From this point on, this is all like a pickup shoot. She's not in the room with Jonathan Frakes at all. She's probably not even on that set. She's just kind of sitting there in a darkened room. See, she's being like, yeah, he's a wonderful boy, and he's like, that's not what I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about, why aren't you his mom?
She died 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Shuttle accident.
And he's all like,
I'm sorry.
He's like, nothing you're saying or doing is like the way you're supposed to be. He keeps being like, this is where he figures it out. Or begins to figure it out. His facial expressions are so good in this.
Men. Well, yeah, I'm wondering if when he puts it together, I think he doesn't truly put it together until he sees a picture of Minuet, if I recall.
That's the final straw.
Mm.
But this whole thing where she's not responding to his feelings at all. She's answering his questions and being open with him, which makes sense because she's a ship's counselor, but the alien does not understand what their connection is. And in fact, I think the reason that they're filming Marina Sirtis by herself here is so that she won't respond to Jonathan Frakes' cues.
Oh, you
So
think just
Yeah.
through the nature of acting?
Yep.
Huh. They want her to be as flat as possible.
Yeah. I mean, she looks concerned. I don't even think that's Marina Sirtis from the back, incidentally.
No?
I think that's a Leica look from the back, yeah.
I don't know. We're going to have to do a back shoulder and ass bump comparison now.
Yeah.
So, never met this kid, and he is blowing on a trombone. You know, I used to play the trombone, and you don't play it like that.
No.
That's kind of fun to play it like that. It's very animated. It's got to be one of the funniest musical instruments out there.
You used to be a bit of a tromboner.
Yeah, I had a raging tromboner. Now here's another tell right here. He's going through his scale, and he can't hit that note.
Mm-hmm. And then the alien immediately compensates and goes, "Oh yeah, you never could do that."
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a recent memory too.
Yeah, he can respond to Riker on a level that Troy should be able to here, but can't.
So the only reason he can't hit that note is because of lip control, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... think of the mouthpiece of a trombone like a really big trumpet mouthpiece. So if you've ever played the trumpet or any other brass instrument, you know, it's all about pincing your lips really tight.
Huh. There's another cue I didn't notice before. He's got his little Ryza sex guy just sitting out on the desk.
What? Oh, well,
Yep.
Jeez. Well, maybe he's going to pass. So I could see little baby Jean-Luc here just borrowing that one day. He's like, Dad, I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll borrow the shuttle.
Well, he was the kid on that show, Dream On. That weird HBO sex comedy.
That's right. I forgot about Dream On. That was on Showtime, wasn't it?
It was HBO, I think.
That was a hilarious show. What is that kid's name? Todd Merrill, I think? No. Oh, it's Chris Dementrell.
Mm.
Oh, he looks just like himself too now. Here's a picture of him in 2004.
Oh, that is 16 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's Tomalak. Oh, and Riker's got the stink eye.
Mm-hmm.
He does not play a good poker face with...
No, he doesn't.
For a guy who plays poker a lot. Yeah, and there's Troy acting completely flat.
Yeah.
No response.
She should be saying, "I know you're angry, Will, but blah 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 blah." And look at the look he gives her. He's like, "You're missing the mark with me." He's like, I am so upset by what's going on, and Troy is not doing what she's supposed to do with him specifically. Not just as a counselor, because she is, definitely paying lip service to that, but to Riker and her relationship with him.
Mm-hmm. By the way, our young boy Chris here, he was in Dawson's Creek for an episode.
Huh. I worked with a guy that was like, I think they should kill James Vanderbeek and name the creek after him on the show, so that it's literally Dawson's Creek.
I would appreciate that. So, why would Tomalak know about the virus that Riker has?
Because he was with, he was on that ship with Troy and Picard. They probably told him about it.
Data looks good in red, but he looks super short.
Mm-hmm.
And his badge is on crooked. Oh, man.
Yeah, like I said, I think they were hustling to get this in the can.
Sensors are capable of pinpointing power emissions of a clover warbird even at warp. You say you trust Tomalak?
So here's the conversation. This is the "it's okay" speech. Don't worry about it. We're on this.
One of my favorite lines.
Mm-hmm.
I always said it's a game of chess with the Romulans. Counter move, counter move, guile, deceit.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and she's all, well, his desire is sincere, and he's like, how is it that you can read him and not me?
The key to all of our defenses in the neutrals.
I'm sorry, Will. Your information is out of date. The strategic importance of Outpost 23.
I forgot about Outpost 23.
Yeah.
Dr. Crusher to Riker. Are you there, Captain?
Oh,
But he's so suspicious of this that they have to change the entire simulation. And the kid realizes, because he wants to stay in the I'm your little boy world. So he's like, okay, pay attention to me, like, be in the room with me now.
I think the kid would have done a better job shipwrecked with Riker somewhere.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have to have all this technology that requires processing. You're trying to reintegrate a person into their life without knowing anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
Wah, wah.
At your age, you could break your neck.
Uh-oh. What game is they playing? Parisi Squares?
Yep, which you never see. It's like the noodle incident in Calvin and Hobbes.
Ha. What was that other game that Riker used to play with his dad? It was
With the staffs.
yeah.
I don't know what it was called.
It was so good we never saw it again.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were
And then she's like, no, you got to come down here. He fell and broke his wrist. And then she's like, oh no, not a big deal if you're mad.
Yeah. Well, this is deflection.
Yep.
Really, that kid's got to be more needy if he wants to keep Riker's attention. Or, they could have just said, hey, we're going to excuse you from duty for the next couple of weeks. Picard's here to take care of the negotiations with the Romulans, and we're good.
That's why I love that his real we haven't seen what his son is like yet, but when we see his other child in Picard, much different than this.
Oh yeah, actually,
I really liked that character. That was one of my favorite things about Picard.
The child in Picard actually reminded me of like a really adventurous Troy. If anything, it's kind of like,
she's
hey,
the child of both of her parents.
Mm-hmm. And she had
And
all the best
it's
qualities too.
Yep, and it's perfect that this simulated kid is the child of a simulation.
I've often wondered what kind of father I'd be. Never felt quite ready.
The Pappy pep talk. How would you like it if your dad just came by your place and said, I've forgotten the last 14 years of our relationship and we're going to have to get to know each other.
There is a really amazing documentary about that where it's a son and a father that have to reconnect because the son loses all of his memory. He literally just there was a broken synapse or something, and he lost all of his memory, and so he had to learn his parents and all of his relationships as new people. And they were interviewing his dad, and he was like, I like this person more than I liked my son.
Oh.
It's like, this isn't BS. Like, he is not the same person as my son, and is like, my son and I had all these resentments between us. And this was somebody that I got to meet as a whole. He looks like my kid, but our relationship is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really fascinating documentary. And they said it's possible that he could get those memories back, but probably not.
Well,
he can form new ones. I mean, it's very, very rare that this happens. It's legitimate. He didn't forget how to talk or how to walk or anything like that. I want to say he had to learn to drive again.
Well, it's
Like that, like some of his motor skills.
It's amnesia. Slightly more
Yeah.
permanent.
Yeah.
Can't you lose your memory too if like you have a certain type of stroke?
Yeah, that's what happened to the guy in this documentary.
Oh, okay. Poor Riker here, he's got a space stroke.
This is so weird where he wants to look up the memories under Mrs. William T. Riker. It's like, I think all those honorifics are going to be gone in the 24th century.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's Gene Roddenberry's kind of fault because he had such a hard line on gender,
Mm-hmm.
the differences between men and women. But we are fast moving into a neutral bay society where, yes, people will still go by he and she, but it'll be by choice. You won't you will not formally address somebody as he without asking what their preferred pronoun is.
So I was reading my medical record the other day. You know how the doctor always has to write a note on you after a visit, and I was reading the note, and it said a 40-year-old male a 40-year-old who presents as male.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I appreciate that. Also, at my job, I have to sit on a lot of policy rating meetings, and we'll go back and we'll rewrite policies from like the 2000s or the 90s, and we have to take all the he, she, and just switch all the pronouns to they. When it comes to addressing individuals. And actually, the Washington State Legislature mandated all government agencies change the language as you rewrite. Oh, there's a reveal right there. He knows the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that angry face. He doesn't need to hide his anger. Not that he ever did.
No.
Captain, please come to the bridge. On my way.
So Minuet, he knows he's being fooled.
Now, when I saw this episode first, I had not seen the Binar episode, which is the one with Minuet in it.
Oh, really? So that must have
So
been
I had
a
no
little
idea who
confusing.
that was supposed to be. And they really don't do a very good job of explaining that either. So Riker loses his shit on Geordi, which I think that, like I've said many times, this conversation with Geordi happens all the damn time off camera. Because you see them come into a room and Geordi's like, what is going on? It's like, Worf, you still suck. Sitting there in your chair, what battle? It's like all you do is talk about what a big tough guy you are. You know what? I'm tougher. Hey, Data, what's 7 minus 3? 4. Well, yeah, do it faster.
There he goes. I like the Data little eye glitch there.
Yeah, and I love that the Geordi simulation has no idea what to do. Just standing there with his hands folded looking at him.
That's kind of like that Rick and Morty episode where they're trying to overload the holodeck computer.
My man!
Hungry for apples! That must have been so satisfying for Riker to say. As in, shut your mouth and stop talking.
Bah.
She finally senses he's upset.
Of course, but he's yelling.
Would anyone else like to speak up? Or shall we?
So, right about at this moment, I think I had to change my underpants when I was a kid.
As you wish.
You can kind of tell the transition's going to happen because the green screen isn't so great.
Yeah.
And
this is what I thought was really going on, too. I bought this. I mean, well, I also bought that it was the future, too. I mean, I was 8, but...
Well,
I did not like the Romulans when I was a kid, though.
No.
I love them now, but I did not like them as a kid.
I've got mixed feelings about them. I don't understand how a culture of fear can exist like that and be so organized at the same time.
Well, again, they do a better job of explaining that with, when they get into the Cardassians, because they could create the Cardassians whole cloth.
They create their cloth?
No, they created them whole cloth.
Oh, okay.
You got to remember the Romulans are a carryover from the original series.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a rule book about the Romulans. When the Cardassians show up, the people that created the Cardassians get to make their own rules for the Cardassians.
That's kind of cool. How would you like to create a race in Star Trek and realize it's totally picked up and you get to say all the do's and don'ts?
Mm-hmm.
I feel sorry for the person who came up with the Borg, though.
Yeah.
That just...
I mean,
I think they were
luckily,
desperate with the Borg. They always kept on changing and adding and finding new exceptions.
I love that they've just said they can't figure out why the minuet simulation didn't work because they're not reading how he feels about. He doesn't wear on his sleeve how he feels about Troy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Stephen King book later on where this happens, where they beat an artificial intelligence because it's giving somebody a list of possible sexual partners by reading their mind. It says, "Oh, and Edith Bunker," and it's like, you don't know who Edith Bunker is. Like, you just saw that, like, she was a woman in my head.
Oh man, here we go. They are going to now torture our good Mr. Riker here.
Mm-hmm.
If anything,
But of course,
if anything, he's probably happier to know that he's a prisoner rather than being confused in a deception.
mm-hmm.
My colleagues, where are they?
We allowed them to transport safely back to the Enterprise, but your signal was diverted.
They won't stop looking for me, Tomalak.
They already have.
They won't stop looking for me, Tomalak. And Tomalak's like, they already have. He's like, God, you're bad at this. No, the crew of my ship would not stop looking for me.
And hey, look, they're in the storeroom there with some construction fencing in the back.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Here's that kid again, who's super embarrassed, who's, is acting like a kid who just got screamed at would act. It's like, oh, you're scary.
Well, keep in mind that all of this is being written by a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
What if the episode was really written by a 12-year-old?
Ooh.
Easy, I'm not going to hurt you.
I don't know. I get a lot of stranger danger from Riker right here. Brand new guy.
Yeah.
Coming in. So I've been a prisoner for who knows how long. Brand new guy gets thrown in with me, and he keeps on leaning forward and reaching his hands out at me, and I'm like...
He's not a prisoner, though. Remember, he's the architect of this.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of pretending to, what it might be like to be a prisoner.
So they're swapping stories.
And I think he already knows pretty well that this kid, because the kid looks exactly the same. He's like, you're the anomaly here. This is like, if he hadn't shown up, or if he'd presented as something, different and not exactly the same thing as was different in the other world.
Yeah, he could have created an entirely new personality for himself,
Yep.
a new image. He could have been one of the Romulans. That would have been interesting.
Yep.
For weeks. Caught me when I came out to find
So the narrative is that they really want to get something from Riker here. I don't understand why Tomalak just comes in angry, yelling at him like that. It seems very random. Oh.
Because he had it in his head, Tomalak is bad. He's not like a guy that you negotiate with diplomatically. So now the kid is presenting Tomalak as that.
Mm-hmm. Run and shoot, shooting and running. It's so much fun to kill people with guns.
And somebody watched this and was like, this is what all of Star Trek should be like. Like, starting from 2009, just make it about violence.
Well, if you've ever watched Doctor Who, it's all about running.
Yep.
Let's do 20 takes of us running across the grounds of this beautiful mansion.
Mm-hmm. Or for classic Doctor Who, it's like, okay, part 3 of 8. This is the episode with just running.
Yeah.
Running in
Well, looks like someone forgot to change this air filter too.
Yeah. Their sensors should have picked us up. No, they can't. I know how Romulan sensors work. Something in the rocks. Heavy metals.
Romulans forgot all about the story.
Oh, I didn't even get that's kind of a joke. There's something in the rock. You mean heavy metal? But I'm ching.
Here.
So now they're in this abandoned storeroom that the Romulans forgot about.
Mm-hmm. Convenient.
Yeah. And now they get to continue their heart-to-heart.
Left out all the tools.
Now this is actually seems more like a Lost Boy adventure here.
Yeah.
Lost in tunnels, playing hide
Yeah,
and
he wants
seek
to,
with the
have like,
bad
a
guy.
pirate adventure with a map. He's kind of, the kid's kind of dressed even kind of Peter Pan-ish.
Mhm.
Follow their own ship too easily.
But we broke into their communication system.
We could send a message to the Enterprise.
Can't do that.
Uh-oh, kid's about to give himself away.
Yep.
Security system.
Voice authorization only for Ambassador Tomalak. What did you say?
Who?
Tomalak.
Ambassador Tomalak?
There ain't no Ambassador Tomalak, boy.
Captain.
Do I need to slap you raw-headed?
Ambassador was in a holodeck
I
family.
think,
How do you know about that?
Riker forgot his Matadaddy.
Yeah.
Who are you?
If Riker did decide to, like,
What's your part in all this?
just beat this kid up, did he have defenses that worked?
But you said the sensors didn't work.
What? No.
Like if it had gone like really south, like
Where are we going to go, Ethan?
The shuttle bay.
would he have like choked the kid?
Mhm.
Like if he realized, it wasn't a kid, you know what I'm saying?
Surrender your weapon.
No more games.
I think the kid would be able to create an environment where
Yeah,
where
I'm not going to play.
like have
He
a
could
tiger
defend him.
jump on him or something.
yeah. Here we go. We're finally to the point of it. All of it. Now this is the first real thing. They should have opened with this,
You all along, wasn't it?
and then
do
build
you
a
mean?
narrative about getting the kid out.
Yeah, this deserved a sequel. Like it really did.
So
He takes the alien back to the Enterprise, not really knowing anything about him other than that he's a powerful psychic.
Riker to Picard. I'm here. Are you all right?
well, then just maybe let's say the kid was afraid to reveal that he's alien and not human. The kid could have just kind of hemmed and hawed and danced for about 45 minutes about why he can't leave that cave and put.
I mean,
Find out. Stand by.
Go ahead.
Isn't that the primary problem of Starfleet, is that they have more respect for humanoid life forms that look like, Caucasian Earth children with mid-Atlantic accents?
Yeah,
Which, like,
it's a huge problem. Ironically, Star Trek even called itself out on it, saying the Federation's nothing more than a Homo sapiens only club.
Yep.
From Undiscovered
Human
Country.
Yeah, human rights.
Anything I want.
The very name is racist.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
No, the writing for that movie was
You broke the
phenomenal.
Enterprise. You lured us here so you could play games with me.
It felt truly like a true political thriller that just happened to be in space.
Yep, Nicholas Meyer. And we'll get to it as a commentary.
Brother brought me here.
Mhm.
Try and bring Angela from Wonder Woman back.
So, Riker just finally understood what's happening. Is that the kid was abandoned in a cave.
She knew that they'd never stop living. So she made sure.
There's so many mysterious civilizations that our Enterprise crew stumbles upon that we never hear from again.
Yep.
And I know they say that they're on the frontier, but still, it'd be kind of nice to know what's going on.
Why did you kidnap me?
I wanted
Like that.
That's what they're doing on this new Lower Deck show, is a lot of second contacts.
You know, I've yet to watch that. I've got to turn.
I like it a lot.
Nice. I gotta turn my CBS All Access pass back on.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
I have to return to my ship.
So only now does the child kind of drop the his cloak and show who he really is.
Scared the crap out of me.
You don't
Yeah?
have to be alone.
Yeah.
Oh man. Here we go.
And for several rewatches too.
Well, it's very much the 1990s gray alien right there.
Yep.
With the almond eyes.
It's like, Captain, red alert, we've got a gray.
To me, you'll always be.
We could put him in a tuxedo.
Yeah, to me, he'll always be Jean-Luc.
Two to transport.
Send him to live with the Smith family in Langley, Virginia. And we never saw Jean-Luc or Barack again. To quote Zach, do you ever watch Zach Morris's Trash?
No.
So basically, it's just an analysis of episodes of Saved by the Bell, and you know the awful things Zach does. And any time a new character appears in it, after they talk about it, they're like, and they never saw this character again because they probably killed themselves.
I'm wondering who this Todd Gleason guy is. I saw his name come up in the credits a couple of
Oh,
times.
you got Legend of Korra's finally on.
Yeah.
Good show.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry.
Ray.
Todd Merrill. Do we know this name?
Click on it.
Let's see here. Well, it's a dead link in Wikipedia. IMDb. Here we go. Good old IMDb. Okay, still standing. 8 simple rules. 6 feet under. Return to the Batcave. Ooh. That was in 2003. I don't see any pictures of him.
I assume he played. Was he Tomalak?
No, that's the thing. I'm trying to figure out who he was. They don't. He played a guy named Gleason. Maybe that was the guy standing on the mark, kind of waiting for waiting for the right moment to come.
Yeah. All right, shall we rate this sucker?
Yeah. You know what? We talked a lot about what was going on, but didn't really talk about what was going on.
That is true.
That's kind of how these commentaries goes. We find a really fun tangent and we just go down that. I would have to give it probably about a 5 out of 5 because this is one of those episodes that I will always go back to and watch. If I'm not in a Star Trek mood, but I see Star Trek come up, I'll go through the episodes and say, hey, maybe this one again. And it's very nice. I enjoy it. Again, it's all about Riker. It's a Riker episode. It shows how he's angry. It shows how he gets caught by surprise. And it shows how he has to kind of swallow his pride and be a little humble. And the only way he can do that is when he's kidnapped by an alien kid in a cave.
They'll mess with Riker again, but it's never this good.
Yeah. Oh, no. Frame of Mind, they really messed with him there.
I like Frame of Mind quite a bit, but it's not as good of an episode as this one.
True. Oh, by the way, Gleason was also in Best of Both Worlds, Part 2, so now I gotta go back and look.
Yeah.
Go figure. Alright, so how do you rate this one, Mr.
I'm gonna give it, I want to say 4.5, but what I really mean is 4.9999. And it's only because you could see how rushed they were to make this.
Right.
If it had been a little bit more streamlined. And to an 8-year-old, it is streamlined. As a kid, I didn't notice any problems with it at all. It was me and my dad watching it. He was as excited as I was. And if not for COVID, I would have had him on this call.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. What's our next episode coming up, my friend?
Final mission. Say goodbye to Wesley Crusher for a minute.
Oh, is that where he gets stuck on a desert planet with the captain and a miner?
Yeah.
Wow. That was a weird episode.
It is a weird one. I hadn't seen it in a very, very long time. I put it on this morning after I watched this.
Okay, well, with that being said, the next time we'll see you is on December 2nd. When
Wow.
Yeah, there's a good couple of week break in between episodes. So, I challenge you, the listener, to go back into the archives and find our Shore Leave series, or to go to the Two True Freaks Network, where they literally have a plethora of podcasts.
Yep.
And what might you say is a plethora? It's a lot.
Yeah, over 5,000 individual episodes of shows. There, and as Scott Gardner says, there's bound to be something that tickles your geek fancy.
Wow. So one of the fun things on the Two True Freaks networks is they also have a Next Generation podcast there, don't they?
Sort of. They had a show that doesn't come out as much anymore. It hasn't really pod faded, called Star Trek Monthly Monday.
Yes.
Of which the excellent Listen to the Prophets, which is a Deep Space Nine analyzing podcast, spun out of.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, well, with that, we are going to say farewell, adieu, have fun, and we really appreciate you guys. Have a good day.
Why am I
Hold on.
interviewing you guys?
So you're the guest.
So Sasha, what's
So-
Star Trek
Hi,
Next
I am the
Generation?
guest.
Sasha, what is Star Trek Next Generation?
Seek us out at Next Generation's First Generation at iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Music credits include Electric Car by Poddington Bear, Broke for Free, As Colorful as Ever, Swing Low, and Claire de Lune by Poddington Bear. Audio engineering by Sasha Shouties. Chief Meme Maker and episode cover credit goes to Matthew Kirschner. Logo and graphic art design credit goes to David Clawwitter. And special thanks to Patrick Delmore for working with other podcasts to make sure the good word gets out.
If you'd like to email the show, you can email us at nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com. I've been Patrick Delmore.
And this is Sasha Shouties. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.
Good night.